So I hear you returning to that idea that you mentioned right when we started talking that for our gifts to really flourish, we really need to be aware of the shadow side. That
Yeah,
that that's key
yeah,
to the full giving of our gifts.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's at first we acknowledge the shadow. Then maybe we come to understand how the shadow has um, something to offer us. And then we learn over time to work with that shadow more and more, to be more present to it and to integrate it into who we are as a full human being in a way that allows us to be present to the world that we're in, rather than something that pulls us away, rather than something that disconnects us from the world.
Yeah, yeah. It's, whenever I get the awareness of shadow happening in me, one of the things I frequently, it's just shocking to me, really, at some level, to realize that for most of my life, I have been giving this gift. And for most of my life, in most situations, it's been from the shadow side.
Mm.
I could be in a room, and so my gift is around imagination and ideas. I could be in a room and contribute ideas, and they would be helpful to the group. But the reason I was contributing the ideas was to be seen and valued and welcomed, seen as the smart one, all the things that happen when my shadow starts to come out.
Mm.
Just to think that my life has been this, giant path of of doing good while it's being powered by this shadow side. It's just shocking to me that no one ever told me about. I never had any idea. I was like going through life thinking I was a good person and being a good person. I mean, the acts I've made have not been, overt acts of evil or harm, but still to me, it's almost like the motivation to give my gift is the raw kernel of my character.
Mm.
And it's just really been in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years that I've had this growing practice of recognizing when the shadow is coming out. And also being aware when the beauty of my gift is coming from the fullest part of myself. There's almost no feeling that good in the world than that feeling you get when you are expressing your gifts out of the seed of beauty that's coming out of you. That feeling, I believe that it is a pure form of love.
Mm. Mm.
Go ahead.
And I think, love for me in this context really has to do with the desire and the willingness to engage deeply with other people,
Mhm.
right? I mean, to not just about not giving. One of the things that I've been learning over this last year or so in doing these uh, like these growth edge interviews, um, Bob Keegan talks about how the listening that's associated with really hearing authentically how somebody else is making sense of the world, giving that gift of that listening is a sacred act,
Mhm. Mhm.
because there's nothing more sacred than us connecting with one another from the depth of that being human.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's coming from that same seed I was just mentioning.
Yeah.
Love. Yeah.
And so I think it's like you know I think gift work is obviously beautiful, and I think perhaps it's part of it's like I talk about with adult development theory. It's a necessary but not sufficient tool for growing and expanding our ability to be present in the world in ways that are giving, you know, or
Right.
healing.
Mhm.
And so part of it is also having practices, whether it's religion or whether it's yoga or whether it's meditation, things that cause us to be present within ourselves in a way that is almost a spiritual awakening within us,
Mhm.
because we're giving voice to the wholeness of who we are as human beings.
Mhm.
And doing that and knowing what that feels like, you know, allows you to give that gift to somebody else
Mhm.
or to share it by example.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.